Good evening, everybody. Now, today we are doing that 7 p.m. onwards, we are having another presentation, and the speaker is Dr. Srilagna Bose, and she is lecturer of Sari Rachana Department in Bedle Sankarpur Rajiv Gandhi Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital. So, asking Dr. Srilagna Bose to present her topic over coronavirus effect on Manasik Swastha of an individual. Madam, please start.
Thank you. A very warm good evening and welcome to everyone to today's session, Saluting Dhanvantari, the Adi Deva of Ayurveda. I, Dr. Srilagna Bose, lecturer of Beli Shankarpur Rajiv Gandhi Memorial Ayurvedic College and Hospital, privileged to be a part of this national webinar 2020 among such eminent dignities and scholars. To impart a quality education during this pandemic situation of COVID-19, e-learning and digital platform has reached every corner of the nation through technological tools. I likely to thank the organizer, dynamic principal Dr. Tapush Mandal, who is always ready for any type of progressive and developmental activities, for arranging such a commendable session and giving us the platform and opportunity to share and gather knowledge about Ayurveda in the form of webinar. Further, not wasting much time of you people, I take the opportunity to start today's session. My topic for today's session is COVID-19 effect on the Manasik Swastha of an individual. So, as we all know and aware of the fact that what the society, the nation, and the world is going through a tough situation for last 5 to 6 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic effect, and how it has created a great in every single's life. The word social distance, quarantine, isolation really got a huge limelight due to this pandemic situation. Earlier, this word has very mere importance in our life. Every single day the situation is getting worse and more pathetic. If we take the situation of India, at present every day more than 66,000 people are getting affected, and plus it is also creating a mental disbalance of all the people staying in the nation. So in this critical time, it should be our foremost duty to maintain a healthy life mental status to come back from this situation. So now I will start my lecture presentation. First, let us get a brief knowledge about the idea what is coronavirus, from where this word has actually originated, and when this COVID-19 word has came into play in our life. So coronavirus are a type of virus. There are many different kinds and some causes disease. A newly identified coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2, has caused a worldwide pandemic of respiratory illness, and this is only known as COVID-19. So ICTV has announced severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 as the name of new virus on 11th Feb 2020. This name was chosen because of the virus is genetically related to the virus responsible for the SARS outbreak of 2003. Coronavirus are named for their appearance under the microscope. The virus look like they are covered with pointed structure that surround them like a corona or crown. So this is a brief introduction about the novel virus. The earlier name was novel virus, but it has done nothing noble work in our present situation. Now it has been named as COVID-19 on 11th Feb 2020. So if we mainly being an Ayurvedic practitioner, if we mainly focus on the definition of health, as per Ayurveda, the perfect balance of mind, body, and soul is considered as complete health in Ayurveda. Means the health is totally based on this three tripod. The concept of mind in ancient India has been since the pre-Vedic period. Mind has been conceived to be the functional element of Atma, which describe it in Vedas. According to our eminent scholars and our Vedas, Charak, Bhagavad, and Shushruta, the definition of health is Samadosha, Samagnischa, Shamadhatu, Malakriya, Prashnat Mendriya Mana, Shwasta iti Vidyate. As we are very much familiar with this sloka, so the main definition of health as per Ayurveda, it said that the dosha must be in equilibrium condition, means the dosha that are present within our body, the life system, that is Vat, Pitta and Kapha. The digestive fire, that is the Agni, must be in a balanced state, and the tissue or the dhatu, the sapta dhatu, and the malas, the three malas of our body must work in a normal state. The sensory and the motor organ and mind, Atma, must also be in a pleasant state. Such a condition of health is known as a healthy person or Shwasta. This is the definition as per Ayurveda. Then similarly, if we go and focus on the WHO definition, once again my screen is got hanged. So if we focus on the definition of health as per WHO, there also it has been mentioned that health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So either it's Ayurveda or it's as per WHO, both has emphasized on the mental well-being along with the physical well-being. So physical body plus the mental health constitute a happy human. So in this current situation, not only our physical health, our mental status also plays a vital role. It is also a backbone to combat the disease, to overcome from this type of situation. So further, if we go in Ayurveda details, Ayurveda describes that the mind is consist of three gunas, that is sattva, raja and tama. Mind is called manas. Ayurveda described that a possibility of for disease is due to the imbalance of tama and rajagun in the mind, which are the reactive tendency which vitiate the mind and leading to emotional imbalance. Also result in psychological disturbances. Hence, this raja and tama are termed as dosha of mind. Further, the three dosha, that is the Vata, Pitta and Kapha, these are also the vital element. The normal equilibrium condition of a human body is totally dependent on the equilibrium condition of this three dosha. So, if by chance, if there is any impurities or imbalance, then it is known to be as the dosha. Means either it can be Vata due to Vata dosh or Pitta dosh or Kapha dosh, or the amalgamation of the three that we know as Shanipatajas dosh. So the reason for any unhealthy condition in the toxin created by the accumulated dosha, these negative feelings are emotional toxins accumulated in the mind. If they are not driven out of the body in stipulated period of time, they give rise to or many type of chronic mental disorder like anxiety, neurosis, depression, insomnia, etc. Similarly, in Ayurveda also, if we don't cleanses out this dosha at the stipulated period of time, it may lead to many type of manavaha doshas such as kam, krodh, lobh, bhram, tandra, murcha, sannyas, madatya, etc. Further, in Charak Samhita, in Shutrasthan, chapter number 9, it has clearly mentioned that there are some type of begs. Those are known as that chapter name is Navegan Dharanya Adhyay. There it has clearly mentioned if we indulge in any type of beg dharan, such as manchik dharanya beg, such as lobh, shobh, bhay, krodh, etc., then this also can create a mental disease. So, if we know that we are leading to that disease, or we are going in that path of that disease, we have to take out the doshas immediately as soon as possible. Okay. So again, coming back to the present situation, COVID-19 has a devastating effect on the people's physical health. Across the world, hundreds of thousands of people have died, and many people have experienced persistent symptoms long after leaving the hospital. However, as well as causing major physical health issues, the pandemic has also been taking a toll on people's mental health. So, Manshik Swastha or the mental health is a crucial aspect that needs to be addressed during this lockdown and partial lockdown period, as all modes of communication revolve around the virus. So Ayurvedic science more concentrated on the aspect of mind, body and soul and thus molded the system of Ayurveda as treating process combining both mind and body. It also declares that health is the result of pure body, happy soul and selfless mind. Happiness and unhappiness are the final consequences of the health and diseases respectively, and this affect the persons wholly and not partially. Further, going to the social media, that is the main effect why we develop this disease. Every single person is now surrounded under social media. Either they are using the mobile phones or they are getting knowledge uh, eh, from newspapers or news television like that. So social media has a great effect and great impact in the mental health of an individual. Social media are often seen as fast and effective platform for searching, sharing and distributing health information among the general population. Also, social media serve to provide an important informal source of data to identify health information that has not been reported to medical officers or health departments and to uncover or share perspective on any life-threatening health-related issue. But this channel of disseminating knowledge sometimes mixed with scared, discrimination, misleading report, and conspiracy theories related to the origin of the virus. Its spread and mass buying of face masks, all closely connected to the modern 21st century info media. Poor comprehension or inaccurate or false information in the format of rumors or unreliable news can lead to the misunderstanding in the community, which make the situation even most worse. So we always have to keep in mind that of course we are gathering lot of knowledge through the social media and for like from Instagram, Facebook and everything, but at the same time we also have to remember that we can also gather some type of knowledges which may can lead to some psychological problem, because the whole world is now running after the virus, and the speculation every single day we get in news and the newspapers are actually creating a mental health problem in one and individual staying in the society. So actually, the emergence of this new virus, as it is very new, earlier we have never idea about this virus and what are the impact, what is it going to actually cause in the society. So the emergence of the new virus means the understanding of transmission pattern, immunity, severity, clinical feature, and risk factors for infection are still limited. It is not that clearly known. Further, because of the following reason, the treatment and the proper medication is still unknown, because we know that our vaccine is not yet released or not yet invented. Every day we get the news that trial is going on, but still we don't have the vaccine and the proper medication in the market. All the medication, all the doctors are totally relying on the symptomatic treatment and the symptomatic medication. So specific vaccination for this virus is still not yet developed. So in that condition, it is actually creating a chaos and a mess situation in the mind of the people. People are in continuous confused state of mind during this last 5 to 6 months, and this has created a state of disequilibrium within the manshik swastha of an individual. So since the vaccine is not yet released, our Prime Minister, along with the Ayush Mantralaya, they have totally emphasized on the Ayurvedic medication, Ayurvedic process by in which we can actually boost up our immunity. How by how we can combat the disease, how we can protect from getting that disease. So Ayush Mantralaya has totally emphasized on the Ayurvedic medication. Ayurveda mainly emphasized on Viruddha Ahar and Viruddha Nidan. It means whenever we study any type of disease or the etiological factors of any type of disease, we come to know that the Nidan means the pathogenesis or the etiological factors is either because of Viruddha Ahar or Viruddha Vihar. So in this case, if we consider this outside objectives like faulty information, getting wrong information or no, wrong knowledge, we can consider this as bihar. That is the inappropriate knowledge and way of tackling the situation. Then we can understand how it has deeply impacted on the mental health of an individual. So keeping in mind this thing, generally we see many type of diseases that are getting manifested nowadays in the society, the manchik vedis or the psychological problem. Very commonly in day-to-day life, we all people, those who are now we are very present in this seminar, we also more or less might have suffered from this type of problems, such as anxiety, second loneliness, had difficulty in concentrating. I think many of the students, those who are already doing online classes for last 5 months, still they are not getting any motivation and always a state of distraction. And this continuous stress and this difficulty in concentration actually increases the threshold. Okay, next is, and this threshold sometimes may lead to negative emotional spirals, depression, or negative thoughts. Secondly, the panic or the fear or the bhai, we call it in Ayurveda terminology. This is very common. This is very common in the society, as in because after seeing the news, after seeing the text in Facebook or in the social media, we always have a fear that if I by chance get this disease today or tomorrow, will that be I will be able to get proper admission in a hospital, or I will get a proper medication or hospital treatment or not. This fear or this panic situation always goes inside our mind in every house, in like you can say like we suffer from this problem, like all members in the family can suffer from this problem, this panic and fear. Okay. Second, lastly is the financial strain. Financial strain, as we are very much aware that this is the situation that few months back we have seen in news. The migrants, the migrants in lakhs and lakhs, they are migrating from a different state to their own state or village. But they are not aware of the fact that whether after going to our village we will be able to get any job or any income or not. So this is the situation the India is facing nowadays, and this has actually created a lot of psychological problem within the not only the workers, also for those who have uh, those who have been expelled out either in the IT sectors or in the private jobs in recent times. So this is a financial strain which can also lead to a depression state or a psychological problem in any individual. So, in the current pandemic, the home confinement of large swaths of population for indefinite period, difference among the stay-at-home orders issued by various jurisdictions, and conflicting messages from government and public health authorities will most likely intensify the distress. A study conducted in communities affected by severe acute respiratory syndrome in the early 20s revealed that although community members, affected individuals, and healthcare workers were motivated to comply with the quarantine to reduce the risk of infecting others and to protect the community health, emotional distress tempted some to consider violating their orders. So Ayurved mainly in this pandemic condition, Ayurved mainly emphasized its treatment modalities in three parts. One is Sattva Vajay Chikitsa, one is Yukti Vipashya Chikitsa, and another is Deva Vipashya Chikitsa. Mainly nowadays, it is totally focused on the Sattva Vajay Chikitsa. It means the in Ayurvedic point of view, it is the psychological treatment. How we can in our day-to-day life, how we can actually stay in a healthy state of mind. Either it can be by doing pranayam or chanting, or by doing yogas or any type of postures, or maintaining dinacharya, everything. If we do this type of regimes every in our day-to-day life, we are quite it is the possibilities that we are not going to get affected by this COVID-19, and it will in future also may increase the immunity power of every single individual. So, the effectiveness of the traditional mental health promoting practices was identified as health regime like Swasthya breath and correct behavior, Shat breath, yoga and Rasayan therapy. Swasthya breath like daily regimes, like when we wake up early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta, then after that we do Danta Dhavan, that is brushing our teeth, then some physical activities, then healthy food. If we follow these regimes in our day-to-day life in a proper healthy manner, and in a proper healthy way, then it's very sure that we can lead a very healthy life. Similarly, as as the vaccine and the medication is not yet discovered, we can also believe on the Achar Rasayan, that is the behavioral medicine. Achar Rasayan is a unique concept in Ayurveda that implies moral, ethical, and benevolent conduct. Truth, non-violence, non-aggression, personal and public well-being, devotion, compassion, and yogic lifestyle. This behavior brings about rejuvenation in the body mind system. One who adopts such conduct can gain all benefits of Rasayan therapy without physical consuming any material Rasayan recipe or remedy. Further, Further, we can follow some yogas also. Ashta yoga in Ayurveda, it has been considered that if we perform Ashta yoga, it can also have a great effect on the mental health. But for the concentration purpose, if we follow Shukhashan, then Paschim Muttashan, Halashan, Padmashan, and Bajrashan, these are the asans if we follow in our day-to-day life for like 25 to 30 minutes like that in our regular basis, we can actually develop a controlling over our mind. We can actually counteract the effect of the adjectives that we are getting from the society, from the news, everything. We can so asanas and the Rasayan therapies have a great role in improving the mental ability and the health of an individual. Further, we know that the quotation is very familiar with every one of us, that is prevention is better than cure. So if we are seeing that we are leading in such a situation that where the medical treatment is not properly done, and if we by chance get the disease, we may not be able to get a proper medication in hospital, or maybe we not get proper bed, or like that panic type of situation may arise in anyone's life. Today it may happen with me, tomorrow it can happen with any of our near and dear ones. So in that case, prevention is better than cure. Since we already know and we have that social media everywhere, it is saying that with the help of the Ayurvedic treatment and Ayurveda regimes, daily day-to-day life activities, proper regimes if we follow, we can actually keep a control over our physical health as well as our mental health. So if we know the procedure and the procedure by which we can actually prevent this disease, we think we should start it from very now, from the very today itself. I think we should start by intaking Rasayan therapy, some vitamin C in the form of amla juice or like that, then performing yogas, then performing proper dinacharya, like waking up early in the morning, doing some physical activities like that, and refraining one from any type of faulty information, we can actually get rid of this disease. If we can refrain ourselves from this but this faulty news from the social medias, we can actually prevent our disease, and we can keep a control over our mental health. Lastly lastly since we all are very much familiar with this COVID-19, that it is transmitted to the respiratory droplets, it is just for the awareness for everybody. If you are getting such type of fever, cough, difficulty breathing, muscle pain and tiredness like that, you have to think that you have to think that we can have this disease maybe, so you should get tested as soon as possible. Further, for the general awareness of the people, I think we should avoid contact with the sick ones, we should maintain the social distance, and we should use the surgical masks for in our day-to-day life. And this awareness, I think we should impart this in the society also, those who are actually not much aware of this disease and the sign and symptom they may get in their near future. I think we should give the knowledge to every single one. Further, I will thank all the frontliners, either it is doctors or the medical staff, nurses, the medical students, and the police constables, everyone, those who are working day and night without thinking about their own health and imparting good and fighting with the diseases, helping each and every individual in the society. I thank all the frontliners, and here I end my session. Thank you one and all for your participation, and thank you, specially thanks to Dr. Ruma De for motivating me and and actually giving me the courage to do this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Srilagna Bush. She has presented nicely. Now the session is for queries. If anybody is having any questions, they may ask directly to the madam. Anybody? Okay. So now I'm going for the next session, that is the announcement. Next week on Thursday, 10th September, we are having another session for Dr. Ritesh Giri. At directly, I'm telling the timing because today also some confusion has done by some advertisement and all, whatever we previously gave, and afterwards it became change and all. So that's why today I'm going to tell it properly that sharp 7 p.m. on Thursday, the webinar is there by Dr. Ritesh Giri over the topic role of Ayurveda and Ayurvedic herbs to fight against COVID-19. If any timing would be changed, that I'll be telling you afterwards. But usually this time is fixed and 7 p.m. Just keep it in your mind. Okay. So I think today the session is over, and the next Thursday again we all will be coming here, and hope that the same presence would be there also. Thank you so much for listening patiently, and for today, good night. Bye.